Movement in plants. Plants are capable of several different types of movements, including 1. Phototropism. This is the bending of a plant in response to light. Plants detect the direction of the light source using special pigments called phototropins, which then trigger the movement of hormones that cause the plant to grow towards the light source. 2. Gravitropism. This is the plant's growth response to gravity. The roots of a plant exhibit positive gravitropism. They grow downwards, towards the center of the earth, while the stems show negative gravitropism. They grow upwards, away from the center of the earth. 3. Thigmotropism. This refers to the movement of plants in response to touch or physical contact with an object. For example, tendrils of plants like vines wrap around a nearby support structure to provide stability and support. 4. Nastic movements. These are rapid movements that do not depend on the direction of a stimulus but are triggered by specific stimuli, such as touch or changes in temperature or humidity. Examples include the closing of Venus flytrop leaves in response to contact with prey, and the folding of leaves of Mimosa pudica in response to touch. Plant movements are controlled by various hormones, including auxins, gibberellins, and abscisic acid, which work in conjunction with each other and in response to environmental cues. Nastic movements in plants. Nastic movements are plant movements that occur rapidly and are not dependent on the direction of the stimulus. Nastic movements differ from tropisms, which are slower movements that occur in response to directional cues, such as light or gravity. Nastic movements can be classified into 3 categories based on the type of stimulus that triggers the movement: thigmonisty, nyctinisty, and seismonisty. 1. Thigmonisty. This type of movement is triggered by physical contact or touch. Thigmonastic movements can be seen in the Venus flytrop, where the leaves rapidly close in response to contact with prey. Another example is the sensitive plant or Mimosa pudica, whose leaves fold in response to touch. 2. Nyctinisty. This type of movement occurs in response to changes in light or darkness. An example of this is the closing of flowers at night, such as the evening primrose Onothera okesiana or the morning glory. 3. Seismonisty. This type of movement is triggered by mechanical stimulation, such as vibrations or changes in air pressure. Examples include the closing of the leaves of the touch-me-not plant or the sudden movement of the leaves of the Venus flytrop due to wind. Nastic movements are stimulated by specialized cells called pulvini, which are located at the base of leaflets in plants. Control of nastic movements involves the regulation of ion channels and water movement within and between cells, as well as the regulation of plant hormones such as abscisic acid and ethylene. Importance of movement in plants. Movement is an important adaptive feature in plants as it plays a vital role in their survival, growth, and reproduction. Here are some of the key importance of movements in plants. 1. Growth towards light. Phototropism is the ability of plants to grow and orient themselves towards a light source. This movement allows plants to maximize their exposure to sunlight, which they need for photosynthesis. 2. Growth towards gravity. Gravitropism allows roots to grow downward, towards the center of the earth, where they can access nutrients and water. Stems, on the other hand, grow upwards, towards the light, to maximize their exposure to sunlight for photosynthesis. 3. Protection. Thigmotropism is the ability of plants to respond to touch or physical contact. This movement allows some plants to protect themselves from harm such as the Venus flytrop trapping its prey and some plants curling their leaves to reduce exposure to wind and elements. 4. Reproduction. Nastic movements may help with pollination by attracting pollinators or ensuring that the pollen of the flower is scattered in the surrounding environment. 5. Dispersal of seeds. Plants use their movements to disperse their seeds to new habitats. For example, some plants can shoot their seeds a distance away, while others have seeds with hooks to attach onto animal fur. Overall, the ability to move allows plants to adapt to a wide range of environmental challenges, enabling them to thrive and grow in a variety of habitats. Revision questions. 1. Define the term growth curvature. 2. Why is movement in plants slower than in animals? 3. List the environmental stimuli to which a plant would respond positively. 4. Classify the following as either tropic or nastic movements. A. Growth of roots towards gravity. B. Opening and closing of stomata. C. Dropping of leaves in hot weather. D. Growth of shoots towards light. 1. Growth curvature is a directional bending or turning movement that plants use to grow in response to external stimuli, such as gravity, light or touch. 2. Movement in plants is slower than in animals because plants lack a centralized nervous system, muscles and a circulatory system, and rely on slower mechanisms like osmosis, turgor pressure, and hormonal signaling to induce movement. 3. Environmental stimuli to which a plant would respond positively include light, water, gravity, temperature, touch, and presence of pollinators. 4. A. Tropic movement, gravitropism. B. Tropic movement, photosynthesis. C. Nastic movement, thermonosty. D. Tropic movement, phototropism.